A spider the size of a dinner plate drags a full-grown frog underwater and holds it there for 6 minutes until it drowns. This predator weighs less than 2 ounces, but takes prey 3 times its body mass into an environment where most spiders would die in seconds. This is the fishing spider, and it hunts like no other arachnid on Earth. Fishing spiders are some of the most versatile predators in freshwater ecosystems across North America, Europe, and Asia, having evolved hydrophobic leg hairs and specialized respiratory adaptations over 50 million years to conquer an element that should be their death sentence. Unlike web-building spiders that wait passively for prey, these hunters actively stalk vertebrates at the water's edge, using surface tension as a sensory web that spans entire ponds. The genus Dolomedes contains roughly 100 species, but only a handful have mastered true aquatic hunting, submerging completely to pursue prey beneath the surface. The largest, Dolomedes plantarius in Europe and Dolomedes triton in North America, regularly take frogs, fish, and even small salamanders in attacks that combine ambush tactics with prolonged underwater combat. This video will explore how an air-breathing arthropod evolved to hunt in water, what biological tools make this impossible feat possible, and why frogs, despite being specialized aquatic predators themselves, fall victim to these 8-legged fishermen. If you want to see how a creature with book lungs drowns an amphibian, smash the like button and let's dive in. From the get-go, let's look at what fishing spiders are working with. Dolomedes species measure 7 to 9 centimeters in leg span and weigh between 30 to 55 grams. That's roughly the size of your palm, with fingers extended, carrying the weight of 2 AA batteries. Females substantially outsize males, reaching the upper end of this range while males rarely exceed 5 centimeters. The leg structure is their breakthrough adaptation. Each leg is covered in thousands of hydrophobic setae, microscopic hairs with nanoscale grooves that trap air molecules. This creates a silvery envelope around the spider's body when submerged, functioning as a physical gill. Research at Cornell University in 2014 found these air layers can sustain spiders underwater for 30 minutes, with oxygen diffusing through the bubble while carbon dioxide escapes. The legs also have specialized claws with serrated edges that grip wet surfaces fish scales cannot escape from. The venom system targets amphibian and fish nervous systems specifically. Fishing spider venom contains a neurotoxin cocktail, including acylpolyamines and high concentrations of hyaluronidase. Within 15 to 45 seconds of injection, prey experiences paralysis of voluntary muscle control while involuntary systems, heartbeat and gill-lung function, continue. This keeps prey alive but immobile during the drowning process. Studies at the University of Toronto documented venom potency 40% higher in aquatic hunting Dolomedes species compared to terrestrial relatives, suggesting evolutionary refinement for aquatic prey. Sensory capabilities are split between 2 environments. On land, they use standard spider slit sensilla, organs detecting vibrations through substrate. But their water hunting advantage comes from mechanoreceptors in their leg tarsi that read surface tension disruptions. They can detect a minnow's tail flick from 20 centimeters away through water surface ripples alone. Unlike web spiders that interpret web vibrations, fishing spiders read an entire pond surface as a 2-dimensional sensor array. Movement capability separates them from all other large spiders. They walk on water using distributed weight and hydrophobic leg hairs, achieving speeds of 1 meter per second across the surface. That's faster than most humans can swim. When pursuing submerged prey, they use a combination of leg rowing and substrate walking along underwater vegetation or pond bottoms. Maximum recorded dive duration is 35 minutes for Dolomedes plantarius, with the spider remaining completely motionless to conserve oxygen while waiting in ambush. Intelligence levels exceed typical spider cognition. Cambridge University behavioral trials in 2019 showed Dolomedes Fimbriatus can learn which prey escape routes have highest success rates and adjust ambush positions accordingly after just 3 failed hunts. They demonstrate object permanence, tracking prey that briefly moves out of sight, and route planning around obstacles to intercept fleeing targets. This places them in the upper 5% of arachnid cognitive ability, comparable to jumping spiders. But here's what makes this truly extreme. These spiders don't just hunt at the water's edge, they deliberately pursue prey into deeper water, where the frog should have every advantage. Now let's examine what makes frogs such challenging prey. Frogs present a three-layered defensive challenge because they possess superior aquatic mobility, powerful escape reflexes, and toxic skin compounds that deter most predators. Aquatic adaptation. Most fishing spider prey species, juvenile rana frogs, small hyla tree frogs, and Pseudocris chorus frogs, are optimized for aquatic escape. Their hind legs generate thrust-to-body weight ratios of 17.1, launching them through water at accelerations exceeding 30 meters per second squared. That's roughly 3 G-forces in the first 20 milliseconds of escape. Their webbed feet create propulsive surfaces 4 times larger than their body cross-section. Lateral line sensory systems detect approaching predators through pressure waves. Skin defenses. Frog skin secretes a mucus layer containing antimicrobial peptides and alkaloid compounds. In species like Rana pipiens, northern leopard frog, these secretions include bufadienolides that cause oral irritation and nausea in predators. The slippery mucus layer reduces grip effectiveness by 60% compared to dry-skinned prey, based on tensile strength measurements. Additionally, the skin is loosely attached to underlying muscle. This allows it to slide within a predator's grasp. This adaptation helps frogs escape snake jaws. Size advantage. Fishing spiders typically target frogs in the 2 to 4 centimeter size range. Documented predation includes individuals up to 6 centimeters. A 4 centimeter frog weighs approximately 8 to 12 grams. This is double to triple the spider's body weight. The frog possesses significantly more muscle mass. The frog's leg muscles alone can generate forces exceeding the spider's ability to restrain through leg grip alone. Behavioral defenses. Frogs employ multiple escape strategies when attacked. The initial response is explosive aquatic flight. A single kick can propel them 50 centimeters in under half a second. If grabbed, they perform rotational thrashing. This generates torque forces attempting to break the attacker's grip. If this fails, many species employ tonic immobility, death feigning. This is combined with voluntary apnea. They stop breathing and moving. This can confuse predators relying on movement cues. In New York wetlands, 2017 observational studies by State University researchers documented fishing spider hunting attempts. They observed 47 spider-frog interactions over 120 hours of footage. The success rate was 34%. This means 2/3 of attacks failed. Failed attempts occurred when frogs detected the spider before contact, 21 cases. Other failures occurred when frogs escaped the initial grab, 14 cases. Some failures occurred when underwater pursuit exceeded the spider's dive duration capacity, 6 cases. Geographic distribution creates overlap in habitats where frogs are most vulnerable. Fishing spiders concentrate around shallow, vegetation-dense pond edges. These are areas where young-of-year frogs aggregate. These zones are typically 5 to 30 centimeters deep. Water temperatures range between 18 to 26 degrees. These conditions are optimal for both spider activity and frog development. So how do these two interact when physics and biology favor the frog? The answer is a hunting strategy that exploits the one thing frogs cannot do. They cannot hold their breath longer than the spider's oxygen bubble lasts. The drowning hunt unfolds in 6 to 10 minutes from detection to feeding. Phase 1, 0-30 seconds. Detection and approach. The fishing spider positions itself at the water's edge, with front legs touching the surface. Mechanoreceptors detect surface ripples from a frog's breathing movements. The rhythmic disturbance occurs as nostrils break the surface every 30 to 60 seconds. From 15 to 25 centimeters away, it can distinguish frog breathing patterns from fish movements or wind-caused ripples. The spider approaches in stop-motion bursts. It moves rapidly for 2 to 3 seconds. Then it freezes for 5 to 10 seconds to avoid detection. Visual hunting only occurs in daylight. Night hunts rely purely on mechanoreception. Phase 2, 30 seconds, 2 minutes, strike and submersion. When within 3 centimeters, the spider launches forward with all 8 legs extended. Front legs make contact first. Specialized claws penetrate the mucus layer to reach the firmer skin beneath. Fangs inject venom behind the frog's skull at the brainstem location. This targeting precision suggests learned anatomy. This happens within 400 milliseconds of initial contact. The critical moment occurs next. Rather than retreating to shore, the spider immediately pulls backward into deeper water. Both the spider and the frog become submerged. The hydrophobic air bubble forms around the spider's body. The frog begins explosive thrashing. Research measurements show struggling frogs generate forces of 0.8 to 1.2 newtons. This is equivalent to supporting a 100-gram weight. The spider distributes restraint across all 8 legs. It creates a grip web rather than relying on jaw strength alone. Phase 3, 2 to 6 minutes. Drowning phase. This is where physics becomes the spider's weapon. The frog's lungs contain approximately 0.3 milliliters of air. This is enough for 3 to 4 minutes of submersion if the frog remains calm. Venom-induced paralysis prevents voluntary breath control. Panic responses accelerate oxygen consumption. The spider maintains its air bubble through hydrophobic hairs. Meanwhile, the frog's oxygen supply depletes. Underwater footage from University of Florida studies shows spiders adjusting grip positions every 20 to 40 seconds. This prevents the frog from reaching the surface. If the frog's snout breaks the surface, the spider immediately pulls downward with renewed force. Average drowning time is 6 minutes. The range varies from 4 to 11 minutes depending on prey size. Phase 4, 6 to 10 minutes. Consumption. Once movements cease, the spider drags the frog to vegetation or the shore. External digestion begins. Enzymes injected through repeated bites liquefy internal tissues. Feeding continues for 30 to 90 minutes. The spider typically consumes 60% of the frog's soft tissue. Skin and bones are left behind. The most documented case occurred in Hungary's Kis-Balaton wetlands in 2016. A female Dolomedes plantarius was photographed subduing a 7-centimeter Rana arvalis, moor frog. The frog weighed 18 grams. This was more than 3 times the spider's weight. The entire sequence from strike to drowning lasted 14 minutes. The event was recorded by wildlife photographer István Szabó. This is comparable to a house cat drowning a raccoon. But the implications of this hunting strategy go even deeper than individual predation events. This drowning behavior reveals an underappreciated predator-prey dynamic in freshwater food webs. Ecological role. Fishing spiders function as top invertebrate predators in shallow wetland zones. They occupy a niche between aquatic insects and vertebrate predators like herons or snakes. In habitats where they reach densities of 5 to 12 individuals per 10 square meters. This is common in pristine European marshes. They can remove 8% to 15% of juvenile frog populations annually. This is according to demographic models from the Netherlands Institute of Ecology. This predation pressure selects for faster developing tadpoles. It also selects for earlier dispersal from natal ponds. This influences amphibian life history evolution. Population dynamics. Unlike seasonal predators, fishing spiders hunt actively from April through October in temperate zones. Birds migrate and snakes hibernate, but spiders maintain consistent predation pressure. This occurs throughout frog breeding and development periods. In regions where wetland habitat has fragmented, spider populations concentrate in remaining high-quality sites. This potentially creates predator-pit dynamics. Localized frog recruitment may fail. Current status. Dolomedes plantarius is classified as endangered across its European range due to wetland drainage. Populations have declined 60% since 1980. Dolomedes triton remains common in North America. It faces localized threats from shoreline development. Conservation status of prey frog species ranges from stable to threatened. Habitat loss affects both groups. Research directions. Scientists at Ghent University are studying whether fishing spider predation creates selection pressure for toxicity evolution in frog skin secretions. Early findings suggest populations in spider-dense habitats produce 25% higher alkaloid concentrations. Future studies may reveal co-evolutionary arms races. What makes this particularly fascinating is that an air-breathing predator has mastered an aquatic hunting technique. This demonstrates evolutionary plasticity in fundamental physiological constraints. Breathing mechanisms that should limit habitat use instead became tools for dominating prey. Fishing spiders represent evolutionary boundary breaking through respiratory adaptations that converted a lethal environment into a hunting ground. These spiders evolved to weaponize the one thing that should kill them, water, into a tool for killing prey that evolved to thrive in it. The largest recorded fishing spider frog predation involved prey 3.5 times the predator's body weight. The prey was held underwater for 14 minutes until drowned. That's a feat of biomechanical efficiency no other spider family has achieved. We still don't know if fishing spiders can learn individual frog species' defensive behaviors. We also don't know if they select prey based on toxicity cues. Future research may reveal sophisticated prey discrimination. But if you think drowning frogs is extreme, wait until you see what funnel web spiders do to mice. They use venom specifically evolved to kill vertebrates. That's an evolutionary arms race, written in neurotoxin chemistry. Click the video on screen. If you want more extreme predation content, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. We explore the most fascinating evolutionary adaptations on the planet. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.